This is a snow leopard. He was planning a sneak attack on 𝙄𝙉 𝙃𝙃. Attempted offense. The wise eyes of the corner-eyed goat were full of sarcasm. The beam between the two sides is tied. It is said that winter is the season when the horned goat is black. The main thing between males is a mane. The process is really top. The winning side will give priority to the exercise. Greasy index 5 stars. The U is a little rippling. Just when supporting good things, snow leopards come to eat. It's a bit of a grudge. In order to seek literature, he chose to run to Mother Cliff. The two sides are pulling their limits in this high-end game of geography. But the sheep float away. Heartbroken. Oh dear, I say destiny. And even at night, he builds miracles. It's like knowing and still piling up In this issue, we will first arrange the story of Now the cheetah takes over the second edition. 𝙃𝙃. Let me explain to you what is fleeting. The mother cheetah successfully raised a sheep, so he quickly summoned the baby to the banquet. I didn't expect meat to have an attractive Although the second brother holds but says, what bad intentions can he have? It's just a simple purchase at 0 yuan. Treasure hunting is unwilling to become a tool. His last stubbornness was to create obstacles for nature's porter. The hound said he enjoyed the feeling that he couldn't get used to me and couldn't get rid of me. Speaking of hounds, they accept whale anorectal blasting art. There is another heaven-defying feature, and that is that the female eye is stunningly similar in shape to the male eye. The female uses this imitation organ to lift urine, reproduction, and childbirth. Their reproductive process is like the legendary middle gate. This is also quite explosive in the burst world, and you can imagine how painful it must be for a female to give birth. Please forgive me for not being too specific. There are knowledgeable friends who can popularize science in the comic Needless to say, the combat power of these guys when they started the regiment is completely disgraced because she strayed into their base camp. Directly kicked into the tree, eyes full of resentment. So later, when a hunting dog strayed into the lion's territory. Lionesses don't usually eat two pigeons. It's pure physical transcendence. A little bit of grudge. The lioness's real target at the moment is drinking gracefully. So we go back to the story of cats and cats. It was very awkward. Uncle Wu is at the starting line. They're way ahead. But the martial artist does not give up. And then successfully offended the wild buffalo. Lost the card again and was bitten. It's a long way out. Now the giraffe-kun has no worries. It's time to cook happily. Although the chicken and the joy tree are full of spikes, but nothing in front of the giraffe. At most, it just tastes a little hot. However, the chicken and the tree have the ultimate defense. That's the disciple he raised. The acacia trees provide them with a homestay. They also secrete sweet honey to feed them. It belongs to the package of food, accommodation, and conscientious. And to get rich is to reciprocate. Something really happened. Once you feel too much vibration, you launch an attack. Although it often hurts 1,000 enemies and damages 1,000. But the attack effect is still significant. The giraffe said that eating a leaf is like eating malatang and slipping away. So here we go. Puma is going to teach his old baby a lesson. Teach him how to catch rats. Looking at the flexible position, graceful tail flick and palm fall from the sky. He succeeds and fails. Anyway, as long as you don't feel embarrassed, then you won't be embarrassed. This time, the routine attrition of 𝙃𝙃 universe was successfully completed. Start. Mom Meow played with the magic of love, and at a glance, it is my mother. Finally, the veil is comfortable. Soon, Meow Ma attacked again, then braced twice. After all, if you don't have to play with a baby, that would be meaningless. This circle has no meaning even for the Black Tower. After feeding the baby, Mom Meow is going to find her own lunch. He quickly set his sights on a Taoist red squirrel. But this little cutie should eat and drink. Don't put anything to heart. Okay, cute. Mio Mana opened on the spot. I even took the time to wash my face. Hateful. He smelled it. Also eating at the moment are these North American water towers. Now it belongs to the travelogue, like nature in a flower lake. These fish are equivalent to eating for free. It's time to live after meals. In the last issue, we mentioned 𝙄𝙁, which has its own emotional stability. In this issue, we take a look at his neighbor, the giant tower. At the moment, the mother of the giant tower is encouraging the baby to go into the water. Has not been passionate. The caiman is also in the water. Facing this strange uncle, hug and cry for help. The giant tower's mother's violent temper came up. Direct hard steel. After all, he has a lot of background. In the end, Kevin Ehrlich chose decency. The giant tower mother made him decent. However, the conflict between the two sides is too loud. It brought Fort America. In the face of Big Meow, you don't have to think about iron and steel. As a result, a baby has an accident without accident. Maybe it's going to be a delaying tactic. Kaimanle said, good one sound east hits south. I was shot lying down, right? There's no fog. Weekly report says go. Come home with me. This issue finally brings the story of a bird. This Florida king can't hold back and is about to lay eggs. Player Unknown's battlegrounds. But just before the door, Brother Raven appears. The old turtle knows bad things. Try to hold it in and then... Under the assistance of Brother Crow's great lack of virtue, the old turtle didn't hold back his hand after all, and the bastard didn't hold back after all. While Raven is focused on bullshit, the old turtle held back and quickly transferred. However, there is a high probability that the remaining eggs in the abdomen. It is said that Brother Crow has always been a master of the whole life. He picked up the leftovers of another town. Start hiding fast. As a result, I didn't finish eating until I ate it. So he chose not to eat and walk around. Find a place to grow minced meat. Just covering with sand is not rigorous enough. You have to cover it dry to cover up the smell. He doesn't believe other birds can find it, so I left in style. I've always said that the harder you work, the luckier you get. Luck doesn't necessarily refer to oneself. In the eyes of peers, this is simply this: 300 taels of meat. Then he has to come to the old bird next door who never stole it. This also proves the correctness of the law that if there is Wulong, when our protagonist returns, the other party played more innocent than innocent. Our protagonist feels insulted by his intelligence. The two sides finally got together. After reaching a consensus, our protagonist shifted the strategic reserve. This time, he found a crevice in the wood for storage and stuffed with small stones to seal it. He didn't believe that any other birds could be found this time, so I left in style. As a result, when he came back again, the white-tailed sea eagle is already complaining that the ingredients are not fresh. Waiting for you. Okay, that's it for this issue. I know. They often share scattered but illogical animal stories. Follow. No, Bucho, see you next time.
Subscribe.